Yo, what up my people? On today's reaction video, we about to see which NBA players was eating Pop-Tarts, Krispy Kreme, McDonald's, Hardee's. Is that the rest? Hardee's and Arby's together, nigga. They was eating at both spots. We about to see who was eating this type of food at the highest level while playing at the highest level. Man, shout out Heat Check, man. This video is about him. If y'all know who he is, now y'all know. If y'all watch this video, I don't know who will watch it. But yeah, man, shout out Heat Check. Go like and subscribe to him. He come up with good content. Let's go.
This is Oliver Miller at close to 400 pounds, which makes him probably the heaviest player in NBA history. Things were so bad that even the Suns mascot mocked him.
That's so
Throughout his
deep.
career, Miller was always known as a thick boy, which severely limited his potential. Charles Barkley, who was his teammate for a few years, once said that Miller could be an all-star if he learned two words: I'm full. He was probably one of the guys that Chuck was talking about when he said
sit on his head like that?
I'm not gonna name guys. I don't want to embarrass guys. During my time, I've seen probably 10 guys who ate their way out of the NBA who could have been making $1 gazillion if they'd been able to control their appetite and had a great work ethic.
And you can see the point in these highlights. Miller is moving extremely well even with all that weight, and you can imagine how much better he would be if he stayed disciplined. Speaking of discipline, one time Oliver got so mad at the ref for not getting a foul call that he wanted to launch a chair at him.
Damn.
Crazy. So after posting career highs in his third season, Miller started to spiral downwards and was out of the league by the age of 29. But in a stunning turn of events, he made a return 4 years later at 33, looking
look like
much
an NBA
slimmer,
player, bro.
but only played for half a season for the Timberwolves. Now,
crazy.
the craziest thing is that he's probably not the biggest foodie on this list. Just listen to Jerome James listing his favorite meals.
They love my spaghetti. 3 cheese, 2 meat spaghetti. I make a mean steak, very tender, very soft, you know, with asparagus and potatoes.
Man, you can see the joy on his face while talking about food. His nickname was literally Big Snacks, and he had a great reason to enjoy life. Check out his staggering career arc. In 4 seasons with Seattle, James averaged 5 points and 3.5 rebounds. But he had one solid playoff run of 12 points per game, losing in the second round. And all of a sudden, the Knicks thought that at 29 years of age, he is just now becoming Wilt Chamberlain or something. So they gave him a huge deal. The fact that this highlight the second round, and all of a sudden, 3.5 rebounds.
Y'all see these points per average? And the Knicks said, oh yeah, let's sign this nigga. He's nice.
But he had one solid playoff run of 12 points per game, losing in the second round.
That's why we picked him up.
The Knicks thought that at 29 years of age, he is just now
Bro, my Knicks be tweaking, bro. What's up with these niggas? I see why we would ask
Chamberlain or something, so they gave him a huge deal. The fact that this highlight was one of the only ones that I could find while searching for Jerome James videos on YouTube speaks a ton about what type of player he was. He came back to 2.5 points and 2 rebounds in 4 seasons with the Knicks and focused on indulging in good food instead of playing. This is a great time to mention Eddie Curry on this list as well, who the Knicks signed alongside James.
I remember Eddie Curry. I was only like 7 or 8 or whatever. But when I started like digging into the NBA shit, I remember Eddie Curry.
To form a dominant frontcourt duo. Instead, they created probably the heaviest set of teammates in the league. This is the complete opposite of my story, as I formed the quickest backcourt with my new teammate, Opera. I'm more productive than Jaylen Brown in the finals, but even crazier, I'm having a them. So you already know for YouTube, but when I need to another great thing with Opera are want to switch to a different type of tab and chill up at any time. And the sidebar is just genius. I have a few text tabs here for quick replies and of course tabs. Download Opera from the video. You may not believe this, but around the same...
Is that the thumbnail? Hold on, let me
Meantime, the Knicks had yet another massively overweight player on the team, and this is a tough story. Mike Switney struggled with his weight even in college, but despite that, he
Knicks
still
had,
posted
bro,
an impressive
we had this
23
nigga too on
points
the
and
Knicks.
10 rebounds per game in his junior year at Georgetown.
He would bug
So
it.
New York drafted him with the 9th pick. However,
Of course.
Switney's NBA journey started out with a tragedy as his dad passed away shortly after the draft. Mike fell into serious depression and turned to food for relief. His weight quickly ballooned to the point where he was barely moving on the court. And even looking this big and slow, Switney still gave the Lakers work for 19 points and 12 rebounds.
Switney against Mim. Goes up and under. Nice ball. And Switney.
Like, look, no disrespect to my son Kevin Sweeney. Yeah, no disrespect to him at all. He probably could have been something good for us, you feel me? But why the fuck did we get Eddie Curry and Dukes? I don't remember the nigga name, bro. I'm like, Jerome James. Why did we get Jerome James, bro? Over 10 points in the playoffs? The Knicks be tweaking.
He looks up at the shot clock.
So you're like a super techie spokesman for Best Buy?
Spokes hologram.
More than that.
Nice up and under move
Come
from
on.
Michael Switney.
He probably could have
These
did
games
something for
were
us for
few
real.
and far between, and Mike was suffering from the agonizing depression day after day. Things escalated one night when he tried to commit suicide. Remembering that horrific moment in an interview, he said this: "We were in Cleveland one night and I just took a bunch of pain pills hoping it would take me out. But I woke up the next morning thinking,
Thank
well,
God.
it didn't work. That's how bad it was."
Thank God that did not
and with a
happen, man.
career average of
You gotta thank God every
6.5
day.
points per game, Switney was far from the potential he showed in college. He only lasted 4 seasons in the NBA, and at age 24, he was already out of the league. This grainy footage is the last chance the Celtics gave him in a preseason run, but you can see that he can barely get off the floor.
That's a big
And
ball.
things escalated for him overseas, where he reached a humongous size. But after a ton of trials and tribulations, it's good to hear that Mike's story has a happy end, as he got the help he needed to deal with his depression, and he's now helping
good.
other young athletes to not get derailed and not fall in a
Come
dark
on.
hole, which was exactly what happened to Sean Kemp.
Kemp going to the hoop. Wow. Now that is attacking.
Now,
the
we all know
basket.
about Sean Kemp.
Laid it down with 2 hands, baby.
That nigga used to bug out.
In his prime, Kemp was an unstoppable force, a
Facts.
double-double machine with
Come here.
one of the sickest dunk compilations in NBA history. Him and Gary Payton formed an electric duo that took the Seattle Supersonics all the way to the finals. But this is the beginning of his downfall. The very next season, he starts drinking heavily, staying in bars late into the night even knowing that he has a game the next day. The Sonics did not like that at all, so they wouldn't offer him a new contract.
Imagine if he did not do that shit, bro. Imagine if he actually took care of his body. That's one thing niggas don't talk about. But back then, those niggas did not take care of their body like that. Michael Jordan did a little, but even him, he was smoking cigars and shit. Like, if these niggas really took care of their body back then, like, they probably would have had longer careers. And you don't know, like, certain things change. You feel me?
And this is the beginning
Sean Kemp could probably be like, well, he a power forward, right? He probably could have been top 10 power forward if he took care of his body.
of obese Sean Kemp. The Cleveland Cavaliers gave an emotionally
Come here.
unstable guy a $100 million contract, and Kemp would use this big payday to dive
Give me that.
deeper into his vices. Mixing in junk food, alcohol abuse, and
he's
worst of
scared.
all, cocaine got him looking from a freak of nature athlete to
This nigga was
this.
on
The
cocaine?
latter years in Cleveland
Come
and the
on now.
subsequent ones in Portland as well as Orlando were tough to watch. He was a shell of himself and played his last game in the NBA at 33 years of age. Now, this is the point of the video where rookie Dirk Nowitzki
Dirk.
enters the conversation. I know it sounds strange, as he played for 21 years and was always slim. In fact, his wife would always cook his healthy pre-game meal, put it on a plate, and
Shout
wrap
out
it
to
with
Dirk
tinfoil.
wife, man.
So no, of course he didn't eat his way out of the league. But the guy that Dirk was traded for on draft night did.
The Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
Yeah, Dirk was actually a Bucks pick, but they traded
If you really look at it, Dirk low-key looked like he could have been chubby.
them just moments later for Robert Traylor, completely altering the history of their franchise and the entire NBA. Traylor's nickname, by the way,
took in his
was the
body.
Tractor, and for obvious reasons. Even in his rookie year, he
Tractor.
was already 300 pounds, and that number continued to grow throughout his career, ultimately causing him health problems. A career 5-point and 3-rebound per game guy, Tractor was
Rainies.
far from his 16-10 at college, where he dominated on both ends. And a large reason for that was his inability to get his weight under control. In 2005, as a free agent, Traylor failed a
Fucking dog
physical
farted,
exam
bro.
for New Jersey Nets, and they
stank.
voided the contract that they were supposed to give him. Robert would never play another game in the NBA, and after 7 seasons, he was out of the league. In 2011, Traylor sadly passed away from a heart attack, a consequence of the shape
the
he was
fuck?
in. Next up is Jared Sullinger, a guy who was naturally a
crazy.
bigger
R.I.P. the
build,
boy.
but instead of working on improving the body he had in college and taking the next step in the NBA, he only got worse with each consecutive season. This is the reason why Sullinger slid down to the 21st pick instead of going top 10. He had back injuries, which GMs felt was a result of him being overweight, so they were hesitant to draft him. After his sophomore year in Boston, Brad Stevens and the Celtics asked him to get down to 260 pounds for the following training camp.
Whatever you're looking for in a monitor, we've got the perfect match.
You got all the trainers in the world nowadays. You just want to eat. He can still be in the NBA right now.
Now, you know that could have been a clean dunk, but not with them dirty shoes.
Hey,
But he showed up 20 pounds heavier, and
That nigga got
management did
dirty
not like
shoes.
that at all. Despite having a decent season, he looked way out of
Nigga said,
shape
"What the
and would
fuck is
even
those
admitted
shits?
himself
Oh,
that
my
he had
shits."
conditioning problems. Jared told reporters
Those
that he would
shits
save
in the
his energy
fucking
for later
garbage.
on in the game because he was not in good enough shape to go all out in the first half. After his 4th season with Boston, the team just let him become a free agent, and the Raptors signed him to a 1-year deal. But right before the
That didn't work
season,
out.
Sullinger had foot surgery and played very little for Toronto. This combination of weight issues causing him injuries, along with the fact that he was an undersized big man who never developed an outside shot to stretch the floor, meant that teams weren't willing to take a chance on him. And at only 25, Sullinger found himself playing in China. Then we got this guy.
Glenn, you're the pro. You did this last year. Show Nick how it's done, Glenn.
is he bugging in China at least? If he not bugging in China, like, come on, bro.
Be careful.
On live television?
This one is impressive
we're
to me.
good.
The fact that Big Baby was able to play for 8 seasons while being severely
Baby
overweight
was a
in
menace.
each and every one of them is stunning. Davis even has a 15-point and 7 rebound per game year in
Come on.
Orlando. And speaking of the Magic, here's the dagger that he hit against them in the playoffs.
Come here.
It's Davis taking the shot. Scores! He scores at the buzzer! And the Celtics have defeated the Magic on a buzzer beater by Glenn Big Baby Davis to tie the series at 2.
The
nigga
Celtics
shot.
put a $500,000 bonus
know
in his
he was
contract
mad
for him
hype,
to
bro.
stay at a
I
certain
would've been
weight.
going crazy.
Yeah, $500,000 extra to chill on the junk food. That's insane, but it happens
Come
often
on.
in the league. The Spurs did it with Boris Diaw, who joined San Antonio after a bad year with the Bobcats and him clearly being out of shape. So the Spurs put an interesting weight clause in his contract.
You know what's so funny? I just seen a video about Swish Out saying that when the Spurs put Boris Diaw in the 2014 finals, that's what started the revolution of the 3-point. Feel me? The 3-point movement and shooting type shit. And that's crazy. This nigga started it.
Diaw would get
If you think about it.
$150,000 if he weighed 250 pounds or less on opening night, then $150K for the same weight on the day after the All-Star break, and $200,000 on April 1st, basically ensuring that Diaw would be motivated to consistently stay in shape throughout the entire season.
Here's how smart Boris Diaw is. He makes that move and he knows he's going to make the play to Tony Parker, so he delays in midair before he makes the pass.
That nigga trying to make it sound so fucking fancy, bro. He just went up for a layup and he threw it out. He threw it to the corner. Like, that's
Just a big time play by Diaw.
And
They were the big time
apparently
play,
this
but
happens
come
on a
on.
superstar
Hey,
level as well. The Pelicans did it to Zion after years of him failing to show up in a proper superstar.
bro.
shape. Just imagine.
Get your ass in shape, my nigga. You could be a problem, bro. You could be a top 5 player in the NBA. I think he could be a top 5 player in the NBA if he actually took this shit serious, my nigga. Get a little jump shot, nobody stopping him.
Him with all the physical abilities and athleticism, taking care of his body the same way that LeBron has done, for example, he would be unstoppable. And speaking of LeBron, my last video exposes why James was suspended from a Team USA game by his coach and what happened later when LeBron came for revenge. You gotta check out this video.
Man, I hope y'all like that video, man. Make sure to go like Heat Check video. And you know, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for me on my shit, you feel me? If y'all fuck with me. That's only if y'all fuck with me. But yeah, give me your thoughts on, I don't want to say, you feel me? Give me your thoughts on these overweight NBA players. And why the fuck did the Knicks have 3 of them? Like, come on, bro. What the fuck was the Knicks doing? But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed that video, man. We out here.